You have just voted for the best towers in BTD6, and today, I've got the answer for you. First, you voted for the Buccaneer as one of the best towers in the game. Then you voted for the Wizard as one of the best towers in the game. And then you didn't let me down here. You, oddly enough, voted for the Glue Gunner as one of the best towers in the game. And the only reason that's odd is not because the Glue Gunner is actually bad, but because it's been voted as the worst tower in the game many times over and over and over again. And Ninja Kiwi buffed it enough to make it actually not just good, but very good. Also an interesting vote, the Spike Factory as one of the best towers in the game. I love this. It got nerfed a lot, and a lot, and a lot, and still really, really good, but best tower of the game? I don't know. And lastly, we voted for the Alchemist as one of the best towers in the game. Another sort of surprising tower here. Not because he's bad, but he's a support tower, right? He just makes your other things stronger. That's the main thing he does, but he's really good at doing that. So, heck yeah. So the goal of today's video is twofold. First of all, I want to show you guys the 5 best towers in the game. I want to talk about why I think they're either the best towers or not the best towers in the game. We're going to show you some of the good upgrades here. We're going to do it without a hero, by the way, and play a full-on chimps game, which makes it just that much more difficult. The hero, oh man, makes things tricky. And then not having certain towers like a village or other support towers to decamo things and stuff can be extra difficult on top of that. But we're going to do all of that today for you, and it's finally going to be story time with Chris. I really haven't done some stories in a while, and I want to give you guys a nice juicy one for letting you down and not being straightforward enough with y'all. So we're going to give you guys a juicy story about all of the first dates that I've ever gone on in my life. Actually, I wanted to focus on the Glue as our first tower here because he is really, 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 really good these days, specifically for a couple upgrades. One, the Bloom Dissolver. This thing got buffed to the extreme right now, and not saying that it's extremely overpowered, but on a lot of maps, this thing is just good, and there's really not a reason that you shouldn't be using it. Get a 3-1 or a 3-2, put them on last near the front of the map, and you can pop most of the balloons coming in for a long time. It is good to have some support, because if he does miss, you know, it's kind of like, got nothing else to keep yourself alive here. But that's why you combine him with something like a Spike Factory, and holy crap, is he good. He does have some weaknesses here, like against grouped balloons and such, but once you get the Glue Splatter, that weakness just kind of becomes non-existent, almost. And look, it's even round 27. Look at all the yellows here. What? Group balloons? Is that really a problem? I don't know, bro. Not that bad. So I will admit that my current defense definitely lacks one thing. Moab popping power. If you get the glue in the front, and a Moab sneaks through, I mean, what are you going to do? You don't have another shot to kill it, right? You can't kill those ceramics on the inside. You can either go for another glue in the back, which is kind of weird, or to make sure we have enough popping power in the back here to take it all down. So I'm going to go for a quick, somewhat weird thing here. I first of all want to get a tiny bit of camp for round 33. Not a whole bunch, just a little bit. Some monkey sense action here. And I want to go for a quick top path destroyer. It's expensive at $3,300, but if we can get him, it's going to be really good cleanup. Great job at popping Moabs here, and I think this combo might be good enough to get us to at least around 42 for Camo Balloons. Ooh, what does this button do? Oh, SJB, what does that stand for? Only cool people know. All right, it's about that time. Let's get this juice flowing. So, I want to just be straight with you guys and let you know that I've been out of the dating game for quite a while. So I'm currently married, if you don't know. So it means I know at least a little bit about the female race, okay? You know, they can be a little goofy, a little weird sometimes, but know a little bit about them. Just a little bit, just a smidge. I've been with my wife we've been married for about 3 years, but I've actually been dating her or seeing her for actually just over 10 years now, a full-on decade together. So that's kind of cray-cray. But that does mean that I've been out of the game for a little bit. So out of the game that I never actually did a dating app, but I did do, and this is, you know, it can be a little bit embarrassing sometimes to talk about. I did do a dating website back in the day, before dating websites were, like, considered, like, somewhat normal. I did it when it was like, ooh, you met online? Oh, what's wrong with you? You can't meet people in real life? Kind of. Yeah, kind of. You know, it's kind of tough for some of us, okay. Any which way, my first ever, I don't even want to call this a date, but my first ever experience with a girl was when I was 18 years old. My sister's friend, okay, and my sister's just a year younger than me, so it's not that weird, okay? My sister's friend, said that she thought I was attractive, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, think about it like this. I'm a huge freaking nerd, okay? Nobody ever talks. I've never had anybody be like, Chris, you are attractive, or anything like that. It's always just been like, I'm a nerd. No girls could possibly ever like me, okay? I'm a weirdo, okay? It's just how I went through life. I mean, I did not go to prom. I never went to a single dance in high school. I did not go to any of that stuff at all. But, you know what I'm gonna do? I think I've got to buff him, bro. We got to talk about the Alchemist. The best upgrade possibly in the game is still Berserker Brew. If you use it on 75% of towers, it's going to make them not only better, but significantly better, enough where it's going to pay for himself plus a lot, okay? So I think this is going to be our MOA popper. It's got to be. If it's not, I pretty much lose at this point. But I'm going to save my money. I'm going to assume these going to be enough here. I'm going to think about going for a nice a decamalizer. Check it out. Is it going to be enough here? Oh, look at the damage, bro. We need 200 health to kill the Moab, and then all the balloons on the inside. Easy! Easy! But again, my camera's actually a little weak right now. So we're going to go for the Shimmer. I'm going to go for the Unpopped Army if I can afford it in time for 42. I would really like that, to have the full cam detection here, but if not, it should be okay. And there it is, Unpopped Army. Beautiful. The only real problem right now is the fact that this Unpopped Army is so far back here that my Glue Gunner is popping everything before it's getting to him, and he doesn't get any Graveyard going. So that is actually a bit of a problem here. Even Ceramics and stuff are kind of like not making it over here. We've got 0 Graveyard. Very weird. But anyways, this my sister's friend was like, oh yeah, your brother's kind of cute. Like maybe we should, you know, hang out. So this wasn't a date necessarily, but we did hang out, and we did hang out alone. So if you want to call it a date, that's fine. But I didn't really think of it as a date. I was just like, oh, I'm just hanging out with a girl. Okay, I mean this is okay. And the weirdest thing ever happened. We didn't really do anything besides I went to see her horse. Yeah, so she was a horse. Oh, I can't even say that right. A horse girl. Horse. She was a horse girl. So, I don't remember her being rich or anything like that, but maybe she was. I really don't know. And we saw her horse, and I got to pet a horse for the first time. And not only was that the first time I ever saw a horse in real life, like up close, it was the first time I got to touch a horse, and she was like, oh, maybe you could ride it sometimes. And I go, oh, that would be cool. I don't know. It was just kind of just a weird experience, to be honest. Okay, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do? We got to, you know what? I think I'm gonna risk it. I'm thinking we go for a full-on pod at this point. Okay. I think this is going to be the best tower to get us going in here and decide what other towers we want to get for later on in the game. But we've already got almost half the money we need for it, so let's just keep on saving here while we continue with Chris's story action. There really isn't that much to say about it besides that she got mad at me because I wasn't... We did hang out like 1 or 2 more times after that, and she got mad at me or wanted to break it off or whatever you want to call it because I wasn't, forward enough. I know that sounds weird, but we never kissed or anything like that. I was just like, I'm just hanging out with a girl. And I was like, you can't possibly like me, but she never initiated anything. I didn't initiate anything. And she's like, I don't want to see you anymore if you're not initiating anything, so it just ended. That's kind of how it went down. So, yeah, that was it. Were we dating? Were we together? I don't truly know. I don't even know anymore, okay? But again, loser Chris mentality was like, no freaking way a girl is actually interested in me. Any which way, did not really go very well, okay? Any which way, I started on the... There was actually 2 websites that I used. It was called Plenty of Fish. Honestly, you could probably find my profile on there if you really tried searching hard enough, man. It's kind of embarrassing, but you probably could. I don't think there's anything too terrible on there. I still feel like I'm probably pretty similar to the way that I am right now. But, yeah. Though I will admit, here's another very embarrassing thing that I probably shouldn't tell everybody, but I'm going to tell you anyways, okay? Again, stupid, kind of young, didn't really know how things worked these days, and I didn't know it was weird at the time, but I had a picture of me that was a, you know... how do I want to say it? Okay, no, now I have to say it, because now people are going to assume it's like a dick pic or something. It was not that. I had a shirtless pic of myself, okay? And it wasn't like me at the beach shirtless. It was like in front of the mirror shirtless, okay? And I had it on my profile for only like a week, and then one of the girls was like, that makes you creepy or weird or something. I was like, oh, gosh darn it, I didn't know that. Okay, and I took it down. But any which way, during that process, even though I only had it up for like a week, my friends found my dating profile, and now they still make fun of me for it. Okay, I didn't know that they found it, though, until many years later. They were like, oh, we found your profile. You had a shirtless pickup. And I was like, I literally had that up for like a week. And they found it. And now they make fun of me. Now they think I'm a weirdo. So, any which way, I did. I had it up there for like a week. I promised. It was only like a week. And then I took it down. Okay. Any which way, though, I had a profile on Plenty of Fish. And I had a profile on OkCupid. And I actually liked OkCupid a little bit better because the way they did it was the actual, like, questions about what you are like. And they had, like, a dateability number or something like that. They're like, how much do you have in common with this person? And is there any, like, no-nos that for sure you're going to be like, no, screw that. I don't want them because they do that to me. Do they smoke? You're a no on my list, you know? Things like that. So which way, here we go. We got a freaking pod. So if I had to say which wizard was the best, I would say probably either Prince of Darkness or Archmage right now. Archmage got buffed pretty good. He's still really solid. He's really easily buffable. If you have something like an Alchemist to combine together with that guy, he's rock solid. But I don't think anybody can overlook how amazing Pod is. If you have anything in his range, and you pop things in his range and you keep a consistent graveyard, holy freaking crap is he good. He can solo the entirety of many, many, many rounds, and he's one of the best DDT poppers in the game, which is just very, very difficult to do. Any which way, I had a dating profile. OkCupid, Plenty of Fish. I didn't have very much luck. I checked my inbox every day or two, and I would send out a message or two a week, usually to random girls, and barely anybody ever responded back, to be completely honest. But every once in a while, we'd get a couple messages, and we would go back and forth for a little bit, and it would just lead to nothing. They would just be like, meh, not interested. I'm like, oh, okay. Get ghosted. The amount of ghosting that happens in dating websites and things is just ridiculous. It upsets me, because I specifically told girls, oh, that's kind of a game breaker for me. I'm not into that. Like, sorry. I think we're done here. But either which way, I eventually met this girl who was pretty far away, though. She was like 45, 50 minutes away from where I lived. And she was like, and to be honest, at the time, I was really worried about driving really, really far away because my car kind of sucked. And I was like, it was kind of weird. But she was like, I'm going to come to you. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So this is probably the weirdest story of them all. Just want to be straight with y'all. The weirdest story of them all by a long shot. Right from the get-go, we set up this date, and I don't even remember how long we talked online for, but it was for a little while, and I thought she was, honestly, just to be straight, I thought she was cute, but I did not think that she was, like, hot or anything, okay? Like, you know, like, there's, like, a cute index and a hot index and, like, a my type index, and there's a couple different things, like, ways you can, like, think about a girl. I did not think she was hot. I just thought she was, like, I'm like, she's a little cute. Let's give it a shot. I wasn't having good luck with anybody else. Let's do it. So, we decided that we were going to meet up at, like, 7 o'clock at night, and we were going to go out to eat and then go bowling. Okay, this is my go-to date idea. All right, it's very easy. You get to combine two things in one. All right, and this is a big thing because, one, you get to see them, like, doing something athletic or something like that. Like, bowling is not the most athletic thing ever, but you at least get to, like, look at them moving and stuff. And that might sound creepy, but that's just, yeah, I mean, you get to, like, be with them and hang out and actually talk to them a little bit while you, like, do something together. And then eating is obviously get to talk, and that's pretty much it. You talk and you eat, so, like, you kind of get to know that person pretty well if you just talk to them for a few minutes. And which way, we were like, let's go out to eat, and then we're going to go let's go bowling, and then we're going to go to eat afterwards. So she's texting me this entire time. She's like, I kind of got a little lost. I don't really know if I'm going to find your house. So I was like, oh, okay. All right. I thought she was just blowing me off because she was supposed to be there at, 7 or whatever. And 8 o'clock rolled around, and I'm like, you can't just be this late. That's not possible to be this late without just screwing with me here. 9 o'clock rolls around, and she's still not there. And I'm like, oh my god. Like, she's definitely just messing with me. She's texting me. She's like, I'm going to be there soon. Like, are you kidding me? And I'm, of course, nervous here. So she finally gets to my house, and I was like, do you want me to drive you to the bowling, or did you want to drive to the bowling? And she's like, well, why don't you drive? And I was like, okay, great. So again, this is just kind of a weird date thing, because I think you're supposed to like meet up at the bowling place, but decided to meet up at my house. I'm glad I wasn't at the bowling place for multiple hours waiting for her. But any which way, this is how it went down. Again, first date, not really sure, kind of a weirdo, kind of a nerd, not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing here, obviously. And we end up, she ends up getting there around like 9:20. Something like that. I was like, well, okay, well, hello. I mean, I was kind of nervous. I don't really remember that much about like our first thing, but I thought that she was actually cuter in person than she was online. I was like, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I like her. She wasn't that fake, which I know is a thing that a lot of people have to worry about here. But, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Hold on, let's talk about this game real quickly. I think what I want to do is I think I'm gonna go for an Archmage. I think I'm gonna steal the Wizard here. Or the Alchemist here, and I'm going to put him in the front. And I'm going to go like this. I'm going to get a quick 4th tier Arcane Spike so I can pop them bow-ups a little easier. Once I get the Archmage, I can pop them up even easier, and I can steal this Alchemy buff from the Destroyer, which I don't think I'm going to be using all that much more. I don't think I'm going to go for a full-on flagship carrier or anything. Not that he's a terrible tower, but I just don't think I need him today. And then I haven't really talked about my Spike Factory like at all yet, but I think he's just going to be a cleanup tower for me, whether I go for a Spike Mine, Spike Balls, or maybe a Carpet of Spikes if I have the money for it. Up for a decision later. Either which way, and ooh, also a Balloon Solver would be great. I'd like to have that guy going, but not yet. I want to go Archmage first, even though I'm really focusing on my Wizards today, because I really do think they're one of the best towers in the game right now. And they just work well with each other. With my current technology and strategy and everything, they just work really, really well. So we ended up getting to the bowling alley at like 9:30 or whatever, and they're like, oh, well, did you not know that we close at 10? I'm like, oh, crap. How many games can we squeeze in here? And we ended up getting one game in before they're just like, yeah, we're closing. Sorry, we can't give you any more games. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that really ruins my date idea here. And I'm like, well, here, do you want to go get some food maybe? And she was like, oh, yeah. Okay, let's go get some food. And I was like, well, where do you want to go? And she's like, well, I know this is kind of weird, but I really want to get Taco Bell. I was like, oh, all right, let's go to Taco Bell. And I was like, where do you want to go to Taco Bell, though? She's like, well, you know, I know this place. I want to go over in this area over here so we can get Taco Bell over here. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but sure. So I drove still. She's still in my car, kind of just like we're driving around a little bit. And we drive kind of really oddly enough, like 25 minutes away to a Taco Bell instead of the Taco Bell that was close to us. Because she, believe it or not, this was before I had a smartphone. She had a, I don't know, did she have GPS? Actually, no, I take it back. She didn't have GPS either. So we both were just like, well, I know where this is. Let's go there. And I know that sounds really, really stupid these days, but that's how it was. I was like, I don't know where a Taco Bell is. I never go to Taco Bell. So she drove me like 25 minutes away. Well, I drove, but we went 25 minutes away to find a Taco Bell, all right? And we go to Taco Bell, and I'm like, what do you want? I ended up paying for the Taco Bell. And to be honest, I'm like bringing a lot of this back up from my memory right at this exact moment, which is kind of weird. Like, I don't think about this on a daily basis, right? But either which way, we got Taco Bell, and it was honestly delicious. Like, Taco Bell, late at night, freaking perfect. Of course, it's late at night at this point, 10, 10:30 or whatever. Like, no restaurants are open anymore, so we had to get, like, fast food. That kind of made sense, at least in my eyes. Made a little bit of sense. By the way, Archmage is almost up here, $26,000. Pod is definitely carrying, which is ideally what he's going to do here. And after that, I was like, well, you know, do you want to, like, want me to drive you back to your car or something? She said, well, you know, I have this really cool idea. We could go to the mall. And I was like, oh, there's a mall open this late at night? She said, oh, yeah, it's definitely open. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's do it. Let's go to the mall. So she's like, it's going to be a little bit tricky to get there, though. I was like, okay, let's give it a shot, though. So we went to the mall in a really weird area. I almost feel like I was getting sketched out here. And by the way, at this point in the game, the date, I still thought she was pretty cute. I thought she was pretty normal-ish and kind of just weird enough for me. I'm weird, so like we weirded out together here. She was obviously shy and awkward, just like I was. So like it wasn't ridiculous. Yeah, do I want to go? Let's go Intense Magic. I don't really need the Monkey Sense. We're just gonna buy it anyways. And there we go. I think we're gonna be good for a long time here. We can decide if we want to go for a full-on Spike Factory here to make sure we can pop the bad, or just go for that glue gunner to make sure we're going to support ourselves for most of the day here. I think this would be the better idea if we could make it happen, but if I need to, I will buy that lower level glue gunner. But for now, strong sim, I'll just leave it at that. That's what we're going to do. That's good enough for me. But let's just see if we can save us some money, man. Wizards are really going to carry for us for a while. Boat-wise, I don't think I'm going to go Pirate Lord. I don't think I'm going to carry Flagship. They're kind of cheap-ish and okay-ish towers, but not really what I want to do today. They're really good in the early game, though, and that's what I needed them for. And then I could go for a quick low-level Moab glue, but because I have this other glue in the front here, I don't think they're going to meld all that well together. So unfortunately, glue is kind of just have to be what he's going to be. So we ended up going to the mall, which was in a really weird area, very far away from where I was. I've never been to this mall before, so I'm like kind of really out of my out of my mode here, basically. And we get there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, well we gotta wait until midnight." And I was like, "What? What the heck is going on? What's at midnight?" And she was like being very secretive. I'm like, "This is really weird. Am I gonna get like mugged or something like that?" So we walk inside the mall, and the mall was indeed open at frickin' 11:50 at night. And we get there, and guess what? It was the launch at GameStop in the mall. And I know that GameStop's really a meme right now, but it's kind of hilarious that this is my first date, that it was at GameStop at a midnight launch of Call of Duty. I think it was Black Ops. It might have been Black Ops 2, I don't really remember, but I think it was Call of Duty Black Ops, and she got the midnight release, and she used me to go drive her to the mall to pick up her midnight release of Call of Duty Black Ops. So that's the kind of girl she was. She was a gamer. That was one thing that we had in common. I thought that was... At first, I thought it was really weird, okay? And now, after a little while, I'm just like, she just had to be more open that she wanted to do this instead of just kind of being like, oh, well, let's go to the mall just because we're going to the mall. I feel like she led me on in that situation. But any which way, that was our first date. The weirdest thing about the entirety of the first date was that we tried to make it back to my house after all this, and we got lost. We got to the point where I had like 8 miles left in my tank, and I was looking for a gas station, and we're kind of in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and I'm like, I think we go this way, and we're both freaking out a little bit about running out of gas in my car. And we eventually make it back to my house, and believe it or not, even though this is a very, very weird first date, and you would think that we'd be like over at this point, nope. We actually dated for about a year after that, and it was pretty good. It was a pretty decent relationship. The only weird thing about it was that she was very, like, if we ever got in a little fight, I think a lot of people get in, like, little mini fights here and there. If we ever got in a little fight, she'd be like, this is over. It doesn't work. Like, obviously, if you don't agree with me, like, it's freaking over. So she would not only be like, it's over, she would go on to Facebook and break up with me. And then I'd be like, what's the deal? What happened? We'd, like, apologize to each other, and then we'd get back together. So it was really weird. It was like a spectacle almost, that she like really wanted people to know that we were together and we were breaking up and getting back together. She like wanted the drama, and it was really weird for me, and that's why I ended up having to end after a while. Oh man, so that was the weird first date. Okay, that was the really weird first date. And the second date I ever went on was, believe it or not, okay, I actually met a girl at work. And it was kind of weird because she was quite a bit older than me. Okay, I wouldn't put her in the cougar category or anything like that, but I was literally 21 years old, and she was 29, I think. She was 29 years old, so it wasn't a full decade difference. I think there was 7 to 8 years difference depending on the time of year. And believe it or not, I took her to... Oh, check it out, bro. We got enough freaking money, man. There's no way we shouldn't have this thing. Oh, I bought the wrong thing! Oh, it's like a freaking buy super mines or something. No, we're gonna go for the... Oh, we can't afford it yet. Oh, Corrupted Spikes. Luckily, I think Pod's gonna carry us through 95. But I definitely would not have been able to afford a Corrupted Spikes if we ended up going with that top hat spike factor, which was not gonna happen. My second date was with a girl from work, and she was actually, like, out of I don't want to say, like, my current wife isn't attractive at all, because I think she's amazingly attractive. But conventionally attractive, a lot of people are like, she's hot, all right? Even though she was much older than me. Which is kind of weird, because I didn't think she was going to be into me because of that. But, any which way, my wife told me, by the way, right now, that one of my things that I need to stop saying is my new catchphrase is any which way. So I need to stop saying that now. But everybody was like, "Oh, she's out of your league," kind of situation. And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. Like, I really don't think she's in my league. I don't even know how this happened." But we ended up messaging on Facebook. I was just like talking to her at work a little bit. We were talking on Facebook a little bit, and I was just like, "Well, do you want to like go out sometime?" She was like, "Oh, sure." So of course, what did we do? Well, I was thinking maybe what we should do is we should go to go out to eat, and then go bowling afterwards. Right? I mean, who would have thunk? Such a fantastic idea here. And we decided we were going to go to Chili's. And after Chili's, we were going to go bowling. To be honest, I don't remember that much about this date. I remember being super duper duper awkward about it. Because I thought, like, again, she's way out of my league here. But she was super nice. She was like, at first I was like, there's just no way this is going to happen. But it ended up not working out because I was in college at the time, and she was not in college at the time. And she was like, I mean, I don't want to say trust issues, but it was like we were so far apart. I had to drive back 2.5 hours every weekend just to see her, and I don't know. It was kind of just weird. But we also dated for about a year, believe it or not. As ridiculous as that is. And my last ever first date, hopefully, is with my current wife right now. And you know what we did? I remember a little bit more about this date. We went to Chili's, okay? We went to this Chili's that was actually right next to where I worked at the time. And she actually, believe it or not, we had our first date planned out. I was almost... Oh, snap. What is going on here? Are we going to lose? Pod. Woo! Oh, no! Dang! Round 90. Okay, what are we going to do here? That's what I'm going to do. It's going to be kind of goofy, but we're going to do this. We're going to go for a weird glue strike, and that's it. This is going to be the answer here. Just going to improve our total popping power. Could be that this guy's on strong instead of first here. Didn't really use my carpet spikes properly either. I'm going to do this. We're going to go for this combo. Go boom, boom. And that should be more than enough to take down row 98. Easy this time. Okay, easy. Going to be no problems at all. And, oh, this is going to be even better. Oh, check this out. Throw him in the back here. Throw him in the back. Why is he not throwing him in the back? Throw him in the frickin' back, bro. Why are the things not in the back? What is going on? What? No! Okay, I see now. There is a weird conundrum here where it's allowing me to put it here, but then it's not allowing me to put it here. I don't know why that's happening. Is it because he can't see it? So do I need to go like this? No. I don't know why that's happening. It should be in range. I don't like this, though. Okay, strategy change up. All we're going to do is we're going to go for quick Moab glue over here. We're going to put him on strong. I'm going to go for the splatter as well. If I can get the money, I'll go for relentless glue as well. And I moved my pod back just a little bit, and I think that should take down round 98, but honestly, kind of impressed with that round 98's insane power here. So we had a date planned, though, and she specifically was like, I don't remember exactly how it went down, but she was like, we were like, had the date planned, and like an hour to 2 hours before, she was like, gotta cancel. And I was like, oh, okay. That's fine. She was like, I promise my car won't start. I was like, yeah, sure. You don't have to make up excuses or anything. Like, I get it. If you don't want to go to the date, you change your mind, whatever. It's not even that big of a deal, but all right. She's like, no, for reals. And she sent me a picture that her car, that she has the guy out to start her car up because it was really cold and it was in February or something. I think it was in February. It was going to be a lot closer, but I think we got this one. Yes! Round 98's taken down that time. We got some extra money here, but it's not going to really matter much. Pod should deal with round 99, no problem here. And I remember that we ended up rescheduling, and we did end up having our first date. We did go to Chili's for the first time. The first thing she noticed was that I was wearing shorts in February, which I still do to this day. I know it's kind of weird, but I'm a shorts kind of guy. And I don't really remember that much about the first date, other than... I actually got along really, really well with her when we were talking. She was very shy, though, and she didn't like doing eye contact. Like, she was, like, always looking down at her food or looking down at something else. She, like, hated doing eye contact. So I was like, oh, okay. It's a little weird, but sure, why not? And I do remember that when we went bowling, I went to this place that I'd never been to before, obviously, and, like, we bought our games. We did the 2 games or whatever, and I was like, you know, we got a little bit of time here. Let's get another a set here. Do you want to do, like, 2 more games? And I literally paid for everything in cash back in the day instead of a credit card. And I got my wallet out, because, of course, I paid for dinner, and I paid for the bowling. So, like, you know, I'm that kind of guy. I'm like, first date, man will pay. Second date, woman, you know, maybe you can hook us up with a date. That's kind of how I like to roll with it. I pay for the first, you pay for the second. And if we want to, after that, we can split stuff up or whatever. Any which way. Again, I said it. Any freaking which way, man. I was getting money out of my wallet to pay for the second set of bowling because we were, like, hanging out and we were having a good time. The bowling went kind of quick, and I was like, do you want to play another game? She's like, yeah, sure. And I went to go up to pay for it. It got more expensive than I thought. And I remember getting out the money out of my wallet. I ended up with having only $2 single left in my wallet. $2 singular left in my wallet. And I had like $70 to start off the day. So our date cost like $70 freaking after eating Chili's for 2. And, oh, we're about to lose here. And then getting 4 games of bowling. That was too much for me, man. Any which way, I'm currently with her right now. That's my wife, Amanda. And we live a very, very happy life together so far. We have a kid together now, so that's a thing here. And that's my dating experience. So, yeah, I don't have any advice for you guys today, but I probably will make a video where I talk about advice if I can for people, because, you know, it's not that hard to date a woman. They're normal people too, and I think that's one thing that I've learned as I grew up here, is that women are still just people. They're not something special and weird, and not some, like, weird animal that's, like, different than you. They're just a normal person just like you. And they have the same feelings and emotions as you, so if you're feeling shy, they're probably feeling shy too. Any which way, I did it freaking again, man. I'm sorry. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you do 3 things for me. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you use my creator support code, and then also technically also have a super delicious day. So I guess that's 4 things.